G'day everyone and welcome back to one of my videos. This morning we find ourselves at Melbourne International Airport and we're heading to Terminal 4 where we are going to join Regional Express Airlines on their inaugural flight between Melbourne and Adelaide. I'm heading home to Adelaide and I came to Melbourne a few days ago on the overland train, so you might want to check out that trip report as well. When it's up, I'll have it linked in a tab above. Yeah, so I've never been on an inaugural anything, so this will be a very good and exciting experience for me, and I'm glad you're coming along to experience this together with me. So, can't wait. Let's get started. Terminal 4 at Melbourne Tullamarine hosts a variety of airlines which isn't Qantas or Virgin. So we see airlines like Air North, Jetstar, and of course Regional Express. Self-check-in kiosks have been installed in conjunction with the launch of jet services in March 2021. I headed to the business class counter and it was fairly busy to say the least. Not much fanfare with regards to anything inaugural. It was only a few weeks ago that I was at Canberra Airport. After that experience, it seems all other airports in the country look rather meh by comparison. This terminal was opened in 2015, making it the newest amongst the other older terminals. I wish all airports looked like the one in Canberra. I've seen you on the video.
You've heard me on the video probably.
Nah, I've seen you as well. On the one to Gold Coast.
Gold Coast, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Hi. On the flight. All right. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you. I'll see you on the flight. Where are you seated, sir?
2C.
2C. We'll come and look after you.
All right. Thank you. See ya.
Have you on board, sir.
All right. Since I was in business class, I went searching for the lounge. Rex has mentioned it's in their plans to significantly offer a much improved lounge experience for business passengers. Their present lounge at Melbourne, from what I've seen in various trip reports, seem very basic and uninspiring. Unfortunately, I could only look at it from the outside because it was closed. Was this an oversight by the people in charge? Hi.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Cool. Thank you. And thank you. Thanks.
Hello.
Pasta, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Perfect.
Thank you.
And would you like a cupcake? Chocolate or vanilla?
The orange looking one.
Orange one.
Just
Do you
pop
want
it a
me to put
bit.
in there?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Straight down the air bridge.
Thanks.
Yeah, get a shot. Yeah, why not? Awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
Hello, good morning.
Hi,
how are you?
morning.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
And so, Mr.
Yeah.
you don't have very foreign calls to walk.
No, don't. Thank you.
Good morning, how are you?
Yeah, great.
What, you haven't eaten a cupcake yet? Likely must be the bloke that's got the same name as me. So, just across the...
This aircraft was delivered to Virgin Blue in April 2005. It's been with the Virgin family the whole time until Rex took over it at the end of last year. This makes the aircraft about 16 years old, and the interior certainly felt like it. Seats up here are basic recliners with no footrests, charging ports or personal entertainment. In fact, the interior hasn't changed from the time with Virgin Australia. Maybe except the headrests, which has the Rex logo printed onto it.
today will be approximately 1 hour. My name is Mike and it's my absolute pleasure to be your cabin manager on today's flight. Well, as you take your seats, please ensure that you've taken your assigned seat and your seatbelt is firmly fastened. Now, if you are seated in an emergency exit row or a row without a seat in front, all of your carry-on items must be stowed in the overhead lockers for takeoff and again for landing. If you require any assistance or is there anything we can do to make your flight more comfortable, please don't hesitate to ask one of the lovely flight attendants as they move through the cabin. Now, the safety and good health of our passengers and employees is our highest priority. We are working closely with national authorities and implementing changes based on the latest advice and guidance on COVID-19. And that is to ensure the welfare of you and your crew are being met. So passengers are required to wear face masks at all time whilst on board the aircraft, except of course during service if you are eating or drinking, or if instructed to remove the mask by a crew member. In your seat pocket you will find a passenger information card which explains the correct handling of masks and further precautions we have taken, including our enhanced cleaning off procedures. Well, thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, for joining us on this very special occasion as we mark our first ever flight between Melbourne and the beautiful city of Adelaide.
After a quick safety demo, we were on our way. Takeoff this morning was on runway 27. The experience right up till now has been very positive because, as expected for an inaugural flight, the mood was extremely festive and jovial. The average flight time for direct flights from Melbourne to Adelaide is 1 hour 20 minutes, covering a distance of 640 kilometers. This flight sector is the busiest for Adelaide Airport. In 2019, more than 2.5 million people travelled on this sector. Adelaide to Sydney comes a distant second at 1.8 million. Rex was the first airline in Australia to implement mandatory masks for travel. In fact, they did it a full 7 months before the government thought it was necessary. Therefore, unlike other airlines, they still carry in-flight magazines. It is a bi-monthly publication and it's yours to take if that's your sort of thing. It seems like a lifetime ago that I collected in-flight magazines dating back to my travel from when I was a child growing up in the 70s and 80s. When I moved to Australia, I had no choice but to dispose of them all.
If you haven't been to South Australia recently, arrival into Adelaide is a little different than into other cities. You will need to clear a health check. You'll be asked some questions, your temperature will be taken before you're allowed to enter into the terminal.
Thank you.
Some people may have already completed a questionnaire in advance through South Australian Police for the border clearance. If you haven't done that, it's okay. You can do that on arrival prior to getting to the health check, or you can in fact do it at the health check desk. So everyone will need to do that prior to entering into the terminal.
Breakfast was a cheese omelette with capsicum ragu and mushrooms. It was absolutely delicious. The other option was a cold one. Frittata something, can't really remember. Meal came with a little cup of fruits and a sweet carrot cake. There was butter on the tray and I thought we were having slices of sourdough. Guess we were supposed to have it with the carrot cake? Not too sure about that. Overall though, it was a fantastic meal. Suppose now is the perfect time to conclude the experience. I think Rex definitely has an extremely uphill task ahead. For one, what a crazy time to be launching a new product like this, especially at a time when all airlines are crying out for help. This is an extremely brave move. It must be confirmation bias on my part, but I kept getting whiffs of Virgin Australia. Of course, this aircraft is ex-Virgin, so is the interior, but the cabin crew really permeated the Virgin vibe. From the obvious signs of their hair bun, to the excellent poise, tip-top grooming, they were either ex-crew from Virgin or they were trained by the people who used to work for Virgin. Not that this is a bad thing. It definitely left me with a good impression. Plans for improved lounges, future Wi-Fi access will definitely complete the product very nicely. The real test would be when all this hype of inaugural flights die down. What then? Will Rex be able to attract enough people away from the incumbents? Both sides of the argument are valid. There are so many of us who are tied to our frequent flyer programs, which include very comprehensive ways of non-flying accumulation of points. How many of us will jump ship to Rex? I know I wouldn't, because QANTAS has me hook, line and sinker. Even for work travels, it's QANTAS first and Rex second. But there are also those who don't care about who they fly with. Just give me the cheapest. Are these the kind of passengers Rex wants to attract and keep? Will they be loyal enough with Rex? So many questions.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Adelaide, where the local time is half an hour behind that of Melbourne, so that makes it 25 minutes past 8 in the morning. As we make our way to the terminal, please remain seated with your seatbelts firmly fastened until the aircraft has come to a complete stop and the captain has switched off the fasten seatbelt signs. If your electronic devices are within easy reach, you are welcome to use these now. Electronic devices must not be used whilst disembarking the aircraft and crossing the tarmac via the rear stairs. Or prior to leaving your seat, we'd ask you to kindly check your seats area and seat pockets for any personal belongings, and do take care when opening your overhead lockers as items may have moved during the flight. Well, today we expect to be disembarking using the forward and the rear doors. If you are leaving via the rear stairs, please hold onto the handrail and do take caution as you make your way onto the tarmac. Now, if you are travelling with small children, we advise you not to carry your child down the stairs. Instead, hold onto their hands securely to assist them as you make your way down. If you are travelling with infants or small children that must be carried, please use the door at the front of the aircraft, and indeed if you do require assistance disembarking, please remain seated and one of our flight attendants will of course be happy to assist you. A reminder that smoking, including the use of electronic devices, is not permitted on the tarmac or inside any Australian airport. Passengers are reminded that the Department of Health have mandated the wearing of masks in airport terminals and to practice social distancing guidelines where possible. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thanks for joining on this inaugural flight from Melbourne to Adelaide. On behalf of Captain Phil Bunda and your entire crew, we'd like to really show you our appreciation for joining us on the flight. It has been our pleasure looking after you, and we'll look forward to, of course, your pleasure the next time you choose to fly. Well, thank you, and a very good morning to you.
Thank you.
Mr. Simon.
Yeah.
Good one.
Bye.
Good to have you again. Okay, see you on the next one. Thank you.
Besides being met by news crew, we were also met by the South Australian Police conducting border checks. If you're arriving from interstate, there is a requirement to complete an online border pass application. You'd also need to download the South Australian COVID Safe app, where you use that to scan a QR code at various locations for contact tracing. The first scan you'll do on arrival is at the desk where you're assigned to for border pass checks. Here we are, people. We finally arrived in Adelaide on the inaugural flight. So we were met by not just the SA Police doing border checks, we were also met with SA Tourism. And they gave us this goodie bag, and I was the first one who cleared the border check. So I was technically the first one into South Australia on that inaugural flight. So yay, I got this goodie bag, and I also got this Rex goodie bag as well. So I will put that at the end of the video to show you what the contents are in there. Yeah, so it was a pretty good flight. Everyone was in a jovial mood, and we even had someone from communications department. I think it was the communications director. So he was the one personally handing out our certificates with our name on it to each and every passenger individually in business class, whereas the people in economy class, they had their certs placed on their seats, not necessarily, I don't think they had their names printed on it. It was just a generic cert, but the passengers in business class had their own names. Yeah, so this is my first inaugural flight, and I thoroughly enjoyed myself, and hopefully I can go on some more inaugural flights in the future. Who knows, right? Well, I'm back in Adelaide now, so gonna head back home and get some good rest, because some well-deserved rest. Well, because I got up really early today. Yeah, beautiful weather in Adelaide now. Yeah, so until my next video, I'll see you guys around. Take care, and I'll talk to you again. Bye.